Hey, what's going on, everybody? JW Krewall here with Worlds 2024 top four finisher and my testing partner, Jesse Parker. How you doing?
I'm doing incredible. I am like ecstatic, over the moon.
This is the day after your historic run. You had a 12-0 Swiss start and won your top eight match and made it to top four. So, day after, how are you feeling?
I feel about as good as I felt yesterday, maybe even a little better. It's kind of all starting to set in a little bit. They always say like you need time to process it, which is totally true because like when I was playing that tournament, it didn't feel real. It felt like I was in a dream. So, but yeah, I just stayed locked in, just took one game at a time, and yeah, I feel really good today. I'm not sad at all about obviously like when you're in that spot in top four, you want to just win a couple more games, get to that, get that big W, but I'm happy with the top four. I was saying like losing in top eight would have felt a lot worse because you don't get the big trophy, you don't get the cool Pikachu trophy card. So getting to that top four really like anything after that was just bonus, like bonus cherry on top.
Yeah, 100%. And the variance of the game, I mean, we saw it in your top four matches. Like one or two flips go a different way, and maybe we're having a different conversation here. But the financial difference is huge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you have the card, you have the trophy, you have all this stuff. You're looking at 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 of difference between top eight and top four. So cracking that top four threshold is quite a feat.
Yes, it feels very good to actually get a nice big piece of hardware that I can just keep because like a lot of the stuff I'll probably end up selling at some point, but I don't think I'm ever going to sell a trophy. A trophy's way too cool.
Now, over the course of the tournament, you got to play on stream a couple of times. Talk us through the prayer hands.
Oh yeah. So I wasn't doing it, but then doing that. I was just, taking the top five. I wasn't even like laying down five cards and picking them up. I was just going like 3, 2. Did I find it? But then I played against a Japanese player. I think his name was Iori, and he was playing Miraidon, like his own version, which is a kind of wacky list. And every time he played Generator, he did Praying Hands, and he hit 2 every time. So I saw that, and I'm like, all right, well, that's what I need to do because I ended up beating him in the mirror 2-0, which was great, or actually 2-1. Yeah. But yeah, ever since that, I just started doing the praying hands, and yeah, when I really need a generator to hit, you do the praying hands. When it's like inconsequential, you don't need to do the praying hands.
Right, because you don't want to
use up all your prayer power. Yeah.
That's very true, very true. So on your run, was there ever a moment where you just felt like things were going to come crashing down? I mean, I have some insider information knowing that you went 5-0 to start day one. It was an 8-round day one. And you said after you went 5-0, you're like, all right, time to lose the next 3. Yeah. So, there was always kind of that doubt, I felt like, in your mind. But when did you start to like pick up that confidence where you thought you could make that deep run? Because they don't often happen, right? It's like you can't ever, guarantee those high finishes and those spikes in these tournaments. So when did you feel like you had that confidence that you were going to go pretty far?
Yeah, I would say like a couple rounds into day 2, because like when I was like 5-0, 6-0, I was like, okay, I haven't hit like a bad matchup yet. Like I haven't hit a Charizard, I haven't hit a Raging Bolt. I'm like, okay, it's time to hit like 2 or 3 of those back to back, and then like my deck will start to show its weaknesses. But I didn't hit those, and when I started after my first round of day 2, so like round 9, I really just looked at the top tables, and it was like all matchups I wanted to see. So I'm like, as long as my deck like functions, I think like I can just keep riding that wave of Reggie Dragos and Lugias all the way up. Because the Charizard at that point, like the highest ranked Charizard was like Tord Reklev and Pedro Pertuzzi playing Charizard, and they had like 1 or 2 more losses than I did.
Yeah, they were totally out of your bracket. At that point.
Right. But early on in day 2, I still could have hit them if I had like lost one game, and they won a game. So I felt like round 9, round 10, I was like, wow, I actually think I could go undefeated. So
well, I did want to ask about that. So you're 11-0 after the first 11 rounds, right? Undefeated up to that point. You could have ID'd the last round because it was inconsequential, right? You would have been, you did offer.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so talk to us about what happened there. I was saying if you were going to go 11-0, the last round being inconsequential, why not just play the last round just for fun?
Yeah, honestly,
to have that 12-0 start.
Yeah, honestly, like I wasn't really sure what to do because it's a new world structure and everything, so I wasn't really sure. But I knew that like I was locked, so it didn't really matter what I did too much. But I thought about scooping him in because he needed to win to get up to, I believe, 30, 31 match points. to get to the play-in stage, and he was playing Lugia. So I was like, if I can get him in, that's good for me. But at the same time, like I looked around and there was another Lugia, there was some Reggie Dragos. Like I feel just as good playing against Reggie Drago as I do Lugia. So and then I was like, if I can just guarantee honestly, probably winning didn't really do anything for me. I probably could have just done a tie at the end, but I don't know. I beat him, and I was just like, whatever. I'll just take the 12-0. We'll just go with it. And he was pretty disappointed, but
Yeah,
I did offer the idea. I don't know if that would have done anything for him though. I think like at his point, he just wants to play to get into top cut. So that
yeah, he has to try, right? He has to
sure.
go for it.
Yeah,
and,
so I'm not really sure what to do in those situations. Sometimes, usually, I just end up saying, "Frick it, we'll play."
Well, it was crazy. I mean, that whole top 8 looked very favorable for you. Obviously, we would have loved to see your finals match against the Dark deck.
Yeah, that would have been pretty tough.
Do you feel like you could have won that if you had been able to get by Thorns?
I mean, yeah. Rhydon thrives on KOing 220, 230 HP Pokemon. So you can do it. You can just got to win the prize race. The problem is they have a little bit easier time because they have the guaranteed switch with the Pekkarunt. He was playing a very clean, like turbo list, like no unfair stamp, no Darkrai, just prime catcher. So like I think he would have been very favored. And I'm only playing the one Bravery Charm, which doesn't help because they can just do the attack that does 220 and discards the stadium.
Right.
They aren't forced to frenzy gouging. So it really just comes down to a prize race, but I think they have an easier time doing that than I do. So yeah, I felt okay. I would say like I maybe would add like a 40% shot to win. But yeah, getting to that point would have been cool, but unfortunately couldn't get past that dang Iron Thorns.
I know that was. I don't mean to put you on the spot about that, but obviously there was controversy in the top 8. Any thoughts? And it doesn't have to be. You can keep your lips sealed for this one. Again, don't mean to put you on the spot, but
No,
any
it's all
thoughts?
good.
Like just even like, oh, I wish I would have played Ian over. Like, do you feel like you had a better matchup there? Just any thoughts on?
I really don't. Honestly, I feel like the Thorns and Drago matchup are both like decently favorable for Rhydon. Like I would say like 55%, like slightly favored. So I didn't really like, and I beat him earlier in the day, so I felt pretty good. I was like, all right, like I'll play against Thorns, sure, why not? So yeah, I didn't really have too many thoughts. I mean, everything happens for a reason. The whole thing that happened with Ian is really unfortunate. I feel kind of bad for him, but I'm just glad. I was really happy for Cifuentes, Fernando, that he got that win because he was ecstatic. Like, imagine getting in your Uber to go home and then you get the call that you get to go play top 4. Like,
I can't even imagine. I mean,
that is in the finals and he could just win the whole thing very easily.
That is an amazing story, right? I mean, I think as sad as it was to see your incredible run come to an end, like for him to have that turn of fate, that flipping of the script, if you will, was incredible. Yeah. So from here, where do you go for next season? Because now you're locked in with a top 4 finish. You get an auto invitation to the next tournament in 2025, the next Worlds tournament.
Yes.
So talk to me about your next season. Obviously, I have a lot of things at stake because we, for this tournament at least, we're the primary testing group for our squad. So
yeah, we're kind of in the opposite place we were last season because you won a regional early in the season. You were like, "Oh, I'm chilling," and now I'm the one chilling. Now you got to do the work.
I got to do the work. Exactly. Yeah.
Just win a regional. You're good.
Well, I was going to say, how are we going to get there?
Yeah, I mean Baltimore. Just win Baltimore.
Okay, I'm trying to win Baltimore.
But yeah, I plan to go to most North American events. It really doesn't change my plans too much, honestly. I just probably won't go to nearly as many locals. Yeah. Like I already got my 4 challenge finishes before Worlds, so yeah. I mean, I wish
that's crazy work.
But I did do 2 cups and I bombed both of them, so I was like, my cup season was not going well. But yeah, now I can forget about that. But honestly, the regionals, the pricing is so big now that each event, like, I'm motivated to like test for it, not even just for the points, just to like get that like regional win, $10,000.
Well, yeah, that's a good point because this season, at least for our group, it was like a breakout year for us. I mean, we've always been in the mix, but like this season, I think really solidified you, me, the group, like just our thought, think group of like how we're testing and how we're playing the game right now. And so to hear you say that you have the motivation to like keep continuing that, is there anything? Do you feel like you have anything to prove for next season?
Yeah, I mean, my goal is still the same as it was that I think I tweeted a little while ago before Worlds, is that the 2025 season, I want to win a regional, like win a major event, or just win a major. Like if it's an IC, great, regional, great. Worlds would have been cool. Then that would have accomplished my goal for sure. But yeah, I just want to win a major event, like just play a tournament and not lose ever. Just go all the way to the end. Like that's still my goal. And but yeah, about the testing group thing, I think if we have a combined 6 top 8s between me, you, and Andrew, So that's really cool. Yeah, yeah, that was a great season for us.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was good stuff. And so I just want to close this out, Jesse. Like, I am impressed, and one of the reasons that I continue to stick around you and the people that that I hold company with is like you do things the right way. You win and you lose with grace and humility, and I really admire that. So that's such a you don't always see that.
No, and yeah, it's not something I always had. Definitely early on when I first started playing, I would have some losses and get like, really tilted. I definitely still like maybe once every couple of regionals, I'll have that one loss that I feel like, man, I should have won that one. I did something really stupid. But besides that, I shake their hand, but then I, storm off because I mean, it's totally normal to be disappointed after a tough loss. But yeah, I would say like, yeah, I usually like I mean, anything can happen in Pokemon. You got to constantly remind yourself the game you're playing. And when you remember that, you get less,
Less salty.
you expect things to happen like prizing 3 generator. It's like, it is what it is. It's going to
That's
happen
part of the
eventually.
game, right? Or not getting any mulligans.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
game
If it would have
three,
happened 3 games later instead of in top 4, then I would have potentially won the whole thing. That's just the way it goes. So
yeah.
we'll try again at the next one, and I'm sure I'll hopefully get that big W eventually.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait to see it. Jesse Parker, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, JW.
Obviously, this
Always
is
a pleasure.
great. This is great. So thank you guys all so much for watching. God bless. If I don't see you soon, I'll see you later. And remember, good luck and also have fun.